Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone, and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. So it is a mail day, but that doesn't mean everything's here. 3 separate packages, all with 2 decks each, 2 from Indie Deck Review, and 1 package from Make Playing Cards. And they arrived with the morning Canada Post, the afternoon Canada Post, and I'm still waiting on MPC's order to come in through DHL. And so I am going to film each deck one at a time and then throw them all together in this video and tell you what I think about each of them. All right, let's get started. So since I have this wonderful altar cloth that came with this package, we are going to start with this package and I'll film them all on this altar cloth. So this is the Witch Cats Oracle, written and illustrated by Nicole Pyre, and they are available on Etsy, and you can find them at Ghost Kitten Art. And this, so the altar cloth and the coin are sold separately or in a larger bundle, and I was so fortunate to receive all of them for review. The bag is gorgeous. Like, it's satin lined and velvet and embroidered. It's just gorgeous. I got these lovely art cards as well. And I really like the coin. It's gorgeous. So it's got 2 sides, and that is lovely. And I'm quite excited about that. And so it comes in this box. It is a square deck. You are an infinite cosmic creator. Remember your power. So the deck is set up, and let's zoom in now. The deck is set up where you don't need a guidebook. Each card has like this gorgeous art of these amazing witchy cats. And then the back is your reading. Celebration. Meet Pixie Puff. She is the princess of parties, the empress of extravaganzas, and the fairy of festivals. She raises an effervescent glass of rainbows. She bounces, prances, and dances with her friends. She celebrates the sun rising and the full moon shining. She praises your performances, your creation, and your achievements. And she delights in the simple yet wondrous gift of your existence. You are worthy of celebration. Invite Pixie Puff into your heart and infuse your day with rainbows, congratulations, smiles, and festivities. So I have gone through this. It's, I think it's rose petal. It's got that matte yet smooth feel on it. I'm really enjoying these. Infinity of the present moment. How I picture using these is in 2 ways. I could use them for clients because I can show them the picture while reading the back. Time Bender. Meet Serendipity. She expands and contracts time as easily as she breathes the sweet garden air. But I suspect I am going to use these for meditation cards or for dream direction, especially for my child. I like the places the back of the cards takes us. I like how descriptive the settings are. And I think that really lends itself to setting up a fantasy place of for a fantasy-based meditation, as well as for inspiring, wonderful fantasy-based dreams. And so that's how I picture using this deck. These are all initial thoughts of these decks. So I will tell you and update you later on about how they are working in my practice, how I'm using them. This has got to be one of my favorites. Lavish abundance. Meet Nixie, friend of the Fae. You will find him feasting in the forest, raising a chalice of bubbly ambrosia to the bounty of nature and the rich harvest. When foraging for mushrooms, he effortlessly finds more than any other kitty and has plenty to share. He trusts that the forest will always provide. Fairy gold appears easily in his paws because his desires pulse with the thrill of being alive on earth. He revels in the playground of time, space, and nature. Let go of all worries and feelings of lack. Fully receive the abundance that is here for you right now. It is yours to enjoy. So how is this my favorite if it's basically first impressions? I have begun the review for this and chosen out pictures for the review. Doesn't this kitty look so magical? Trance. And so I think this is an absolutely adorable deck. I pounced at the opportunity to review this particular deck. I don't use Oracle heavily in my practice, but I did see a space where I thought I might be able to use this in my practice. And I've now described to you how I picture using that. So, okay, they stick a little bit. Isn't this butterfly kitty so cute? Limitless. Clarity. So, I felt good about saying, yes, I'll review this deck, because even though I don't use Oracle a lot, I did see how I could use this particular Oracle deck. And I don't like to hold on to what I'm not going to use. Your magical quest beckons. But I really think I could use this, and I think it will be a great tool to share with my child. Oh, this looks like our kitty Frankie. Thinning the Veil, meet Star Twixt. Ah. We feel like our Frankie is a reincarnation of our other cat, Frankie. They have a lot of similarities in personality traits and appearance. Oh, this could be my buttons. Float downstream. And so this is the Witch Cat's Oracle, and I think it is just a lovely surprise. 2 decks by Indigenous creators that are incredibly different decks. Let us look at Club Tarot first. All right, so Club Tarot is by John, who is an Alaskan native residing in Berlin, who made this deck for a friend. and it is based on a drink. I'm not sure if the drink is pronounced Club Mat or Club Mate. And it's just aesthetically based on the drink. It's not like a deck filled with alcohol or anything like that through it. And John not only created a deck for a friend who is also a fellow tarot lover. John created a publishing house called Polar Embassy, and it is a cradle-to-cradle publishing house, which means it looks at the environmental and social impacts of production. And this is, to me, a beautiful expression of Indigenous values. You are not going to look through this deck and say it's Indigenous made, but its productions are made within our value system. And this is what I love about this deck. As an Indigenous person, as a Lakota, with, Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe Algonquin, and Mojave Cree children, I like, this is what's important to me. And I like seeing our people in decks, but I like them done in the way of my deck, of Mari in the Skies decks, where while we're featured in it and it comes from an Indigenous point of view, it isn't selling our culture. Because the whole reason I use tarot is so I can share my gifts with non-Indigenous people without selling my culture, and without using closed beliefs for people they don't belong to. So I am thrilled with this deck. It comes with a guidebook that is geared towards the beginner. The tower crashes down and brings everything with it, shattering the crown and its rule. The upheaval is a paradigm shift. After the chaos, the survivors will build a new one. And then in the minors, it is a little bit shorter. We have an intro to each suit, and we have these little gray badges that help you easily flick to the area of the book you need. The cups represent the water sign. They are emotional, creative, full of joy and hope. Romantic, platonic, professional, and all other relationships are big themes for this suit. And then you have, the descriptions. The Four of Cups shows a figure under a tree, indifferently staring at the three cups in front of them, apathetic and self-focused. They can't see a fourth one magically appearing. And so it gives us a nice amount of information that will get the beginner on their way. All right, so let's look at how this deck is set up. It's not in order. I'm so sorry. It's not in order. Should I put it in order? Maybe I should. All right, we are back to view this deck in order. So this deck is lovely, clean, minimalist, and yet is detailed. We can see how this is a cliff by the line work. Each of the three colors on the white background is present in each of the majors. Colors are layered a lot of the times. You see how the Magician's darker than back here, but we see the layer through it, and this gives us depth and added detail. You will note that I've put it in the order it came in. The Emperor and the Empress, as well as the Queens and Kings, are reversed in their order, but they're not numbered, so you can also read as you will. The guidebook is also written in third gender format using they, making it inclusive to all who read and are being read to. We see this layering effect again in the Empress and here in the Hierophant. So this is beautiful. I like minimalism, and I like color, and this is pretty bright color. Being not numbered, I could choose to read Strength and Justice in either RWS or Marseille systems, whichever way I want to place them number-wise, because I apparently can't say that word today. I'm really quite impressed with how the layering creates depth, and I really quite like it. I don't use RWS a lot. Oh, and these are also like a satiny finish, but definitely have like way more slide. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous cardstock, and it's environmental at that. It's fully compostable when done. I think this is lovely. It might be a deck that I end up gifting to a beginner reader in my life, because I think it will be really useful to the beginner reader. And, you know, most of the people in my life, RWS doesn't appeal to them because it's so white, cis, het, patriarchal, and the style that these figures are drawn in means like there isn't race and gender really implied. I can read it very openly however I like. I like the detail in the wands on all of them. I'll bring up, I don't know if that'll help see. I really quite like that. Where was my train of thought going? Oh, so each suit uses the colors in a different way. Wands are purple with yellow people and red Roman numerals. The layering impact really shows up in these ways. And here we have the king before the queen. And when you look at them, you'll see what I mean. Like, king and queen is neither masculine or feminine. It can be read as, as, you know, any of the variety of genders needed for the reading. I think the clouds are quite lovely. So here we are in swords with red swords, yellow people and props, and purple numbers. And I think this is quite lovely. So we all know I am not, I think this came out beautifully. So we all know I'm not a heavy RWS user, which is why I will likely wait for the perfect person to pass this deck to. Because it's so clear, it's so RWS, and in a very simplistic way, it has taken, you know, my difficulties with RWS out of the equation. Here we are in cups, yellow cups, purple people, red numbers. That layering impact again, beautifully done on these cards. I really do like the clean appearance of this deck. I really do. I'm doing this with the kings and queens because really there's no gender difference between them. And here we are in the pence, yellow pence, red people and props, and purple numbers. I thought this one came out just gorgeous. So this is Club Tarot, and I really encourage it for all the RWS clone fans. This deck is just fabulous, and it gives us a beautiful and modern perspective in old style format, and I think that will make any RWS fan happy. I suppose you all would like a shuffle, right? And so this is how they shuffle if you have small arthritic hands and are 47 years old. I can't bridge, folks. So there we go. They shuffle just gorgeous. They are a really nice, flexible thickness. I am not a fan of thick cardstock. And so I think this is beautiful. I'll show you an overhand as well. Oops. There we go. And also, like, they just slide beautiful. What more can you ask for, people? So this deck is The Sacred Medicine Oracle by Asha Frost, artwork by Steph Littlebird, and it's a 56 card deck and guidebook. It is the opposite end of the Indigenous spectrum. The artist and the author and the artist are both Anishinaabe. Asha Frost, she, her, is an indigenous medicine woman and member of the Chippewa of Nawash First Nation, an energy healer, homeopath, and mentor. Asha has guided thousands of people through profound and lasting transformation with her ceremonies, teaching, speaking events. She is on the international bestseller author for You Are the Medicine. Steph Littlebird is an artist, curator, writer, and member of Oregon's Grand Ronde Confederated Tribes. Her visual work engages issues related to present-day Indigenous identity, marginalized histories, and responsible land stewardship. Oh, maybe I assumed she is Anishinaabe. I'm not actually sure that she is. I think she's not, but doesn't tell me Kalapuan land, perhaps. Anyway, I am a big fan of Steph Littlebird's art in this deck. I would never use this deck for clients ever. I actually find the guidebook quite horrifying. And that everything has a sacred ceremony and healing affirmation along with its, main message. This is selling culture to the hilt. It's selling culture in every possible gross format. Asha Frost talks about helping thousands of people. Since she's not an internationally or nationally renowned elder, I'm going to assume that she's helped thousands of settlers. And certainly from the guidebook, that is what it sounds like. She talks about, helping thousands of people find their connection via Indigenous teachings. And we're a closed effing culture, people. We are a closed culture. We don't open our ceremonies up to thousands. She did this after reconnecting. So that implies to me, from a cultural perspective, that Asha Frost didn't grow up in culture and then reconnected and decided to sell it to the effing masses. I would never use this for clients. The whole reason I use tarot is so that I can, provide my work in divination and relationships without selling my culture. This deck horrifies me. It horrifies me. My Anishinaabe Algonquin child, I will ask if they want this for personal use. I can't imagine them wanting to work with the guidebook, and it's like, I don't know, 10, 20 sentences of like faux ceremony to go run off and be your own medicine person crap. Like, we have the reason our culture is culturally appropriated is because of the plastic self-made, medicine people who don't have a community calling them medicine person. So they sell it to all the settlers wanting to appropriate our shit. Like, it's effing horrifying. I have not written my review for this deck yet. I don't know how I'm going to do it. If you see my review on Indie Deck Review for Club Tarot, you'll note that I praised the author for not selling our culture, but instead promoting our values. Because that's a dig at the review I have to write for this deck. Like, this deck makes me insanely uncomfortable. Insanely uncomfortable. I am so not okay with this deck. And that's a shame, because the artwork is gorgeous. And I think many of these cards could have occurred without other cards. It didn't need the sage stick. It didn't need the sweetgrass. It definitely didn't need the like fake ceremony bullshit aspect of it. YouTube is going to hate me for how much I swore in this. I'm horrified by this deck. I'm just horrified by it. So, as a gift to the Indie Deck Review team, Push Kitty offered each of us our choice of mini deck. We have a rule in our family that we don't give TERFs, trans, exclusive, racist, feminists, money, which means that as, a family that grew up enjoying the wizarding world with questions before we found out how fully horrifying the author, JKR, was, we now only enjoy the wizarding world through fanfic and fan-created content that does not profit the turf. So I chose the Little Wizards Tarot in the mini deck version. So let us take a look. First of all, I was sort of afraid that it was going to be as thick as the other Push Kitty decks, but it's not. We have the same finish as on the other decks. That's what's becoming popular here. These are the backs, which are cute. And let's go through the deck. So we have a title card. And then we have our Fool. And that's cute. Magician, suitable. High Priestess, I like it. Empress, a good call. Emperor, also a good call. The Hierophant. So this deck says it has 11 extra cards, and I guess we'll see what they are. The Lovers. The Chariot. Oh, we have two. These are our two chariots. And, I mean, this one's got both the car and the, I'm going to go with this one. Strength, I like it. The Hermit, yes, definitely a hermit. Wheel of Fortune. Now this is definitely how I interpret justice. I interpret justice as highly problematic and also justice. I mean, I like this too, but I don't know if that is justice often enough or necessarily how I see justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Yep. Temperance. Oh. The Devil. That makes sense for the Tower. And the Star. That's really pretty. The Moon. Agreed. Oh, I like them for the Sun. Judgment. I like that too. Aw, our fake Dobby has the world. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. So I might use this for work, but only if it was a call where the person wasn't seeing the cards, because Harry Potter's very white, because, you know, chirps are white supremacists. Like, this is cute, but I don't get it, so I'll use this Six of Wands. And I also, even though I know it's a knockoff, I know JKR did not get money from Push Kitty's creations, I wouldn't want it to be uncomfortable. I wouldn't want it to be uncomfortable for the folks I was reading for. So I would only use this in calls where my client doesn't see, oh, I like Neville there, where my client doesn't see the cards. So 2 Page of Wands, I'm going to keep this one. And that way my clients wouldn't have to worry about what my politics may or may not be. Because, like, it's not like I would open it up and say, oh, don't worry, no turfs made money off this deck. So that's how I would use it. I could use this for client readings. I just wouldn't use it for client readings where they would see the cards so that they feel safe, because I don't know where they're coming from either, right? Oh, I do like that 8 of Cups. That's strange. Is it just me, or does that look a lot like the Ace of Cups? It does look a lot like the Ace of Cups. Interesting. Oh, I have 2 page options. So I'm going to use this page then, because that just makes more sense. Oh, I like Ron as the Knight of Cups as a knight. That is awesome. That works too, but image-wise, I'm going with that. So the extra cards are alternate cards. You get to choose which one you like. I like that the cloud is the hand. I like the swords through a book, which is very swordsy. Books are very swordsy, right? Oh, yes. This makes so much sense for the 6 of Swords. And we have 2 6s. But this looks like a 6 of Swords. 7 of Swords. Oh, again, 2 8s. I mean, this is like so 8 of Swords. I'm going with the imaginative 8 in this particular case. Yep. I like how, like, the stair rail, that's brilliant art-wise. Oh, we have 2 9 of Swords. I am going to go with the more traditional one. 10 of Swords. Page of Swords. Knight of Swords. I like her for the Queen. King. Oh, that's a good Ace of Pence. Aw, Flitwick. Oh, they do make a good 3 of Pence. Yep. I am here for this. I am. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, I do enjoy this. Oh, they needed to make an appearance, and that's a really good place to put them. Yay, Page of Pence. Knight. Queen. King. Yep. A planned tragedy. Interesting. I will keep. And I have use for double-sided cards. Shall we see how this one shuffles? So I've told you how I imagine using it, and I will let you. So easy. I like that. And I will let you know if it's actually how I used it as time progresses. And did that work for me? This is cute and adorable. And like I said, I like a way to dive into this fantasy world without a mark on my conscience. And Push Kitty and all fanfic creators who do things in the unlicensed way. I love you. Keep it up. Oh, let's see how these cards move. So, you know, yeah, Club Tarot definitely slid the best. All right, there we go. All right, so the decks from MPC finally arrived. I ordered these January 7th, but first, it took like 3 weeks for them to communicate with me that they hadn't started printing the decks yet, because I'd ordered a custom box and this one didn't have a custom box, and they only communicated that with me because I asked what was going on, and they were like, we can cancel it for you. I'm like, no, just give me a plain ass box. So this is the Wonderland deck. I will put the artist's name on the screen here because I don't remember it. It is a playing card deck. it came out of order, and I kind of put it in order for folks here. You'll see what I did. So these are the aces. They look the same, just different colors, although like there's a lot of similarity between the hearts and the diamonds. I kind of wish the heart was filled in. But so these are the aces. So you'll note that, you know, it's like a playing card deck versus a playing card deck that's meant for cartomancy. So each pip, each card placement has the same picture, just in a slightly different color scheme. I think like the person as a bunny, it is pretty cute. It's an adorable deck, but based on its design, this will just be used as one of our decks for playing card games, which we do a lot of in our house. I don't think it would be useful for reading playing cards. So it will be a deck for playing cards versus using them for cartomancy. I really like how the people are done. I think it's pretty cute. So this, of course, is the caterpillar. The art's gorgeous. I just didn't know entirely what I was getting. But so I have a very expensive set of cards for playing, you know, euchre, kings on corners, bridge, stuff like that. And that will be great. That is definitely something we spend a lot of our spare family time doing. This is also super cute. The little mouse ears made out of the hair. Here we got like a Cheshire cat. Really shows up there in the clubs well. Oh, and in the spades. And in the hearts. And some cute jokers. So each facing in a different direction. So that is the Wonderland deck. And I will use this as a family deck for games. It shuffles beautifully. And it's got a gorgeous slide to it. So that is the Wonderland deck. The other deck in my order was the Marseille by Tom Benjamin. And so after the issue with the Wonderland deck box, I then had to be like, now what's taking so long? And they said, we're reprinting for quality control. And I was like, if it's the Marseille, stop. It's supposed to look like that. And eventually they listened to me and shipped it. And I said, I've heard about this from other folks. Like, there's only so many diverse Marseille decks out there. You have 2 of them. And this one's designed to look like the old decks. You should have heard from enough of us by now. It's supposed to look like this. Make a note for yourself. So if you order this deck, do check in with MPC about what's taking so long, and do tell them to just print it. So I'm pretty excited about this. These are the card backs, and I like them. I do. So I think this is like the first deck I have with like a sort of classic back. This is obviously the most Marseille deck I have. and I am pretty excited about it. I am going to work after filming this. I took a quick look through, and I am going to be using this in my reading. I'm excited. Like, this is how you take an old deck and make it diverse. You change the faces and the hair to match the skin tones you are giving the characters. I do appreciate cards like the Pope remaining white. And yeah, this is exciting. I don't have anything that's like a real Marseille. Same with, you know, Rider-Waite-Smith, and we all know my issues why. I mean, I do find Marseille art kind of ugly, which has also been one of the things, but there's something about emphasizing that and taking out the overwhelming whiteness of it all that is cute and appealing. And I'm really excited to use this deck. I like the size of it. I really like the smoothness of it. Like, I do. I think my guess would be this is their superior smooth finish. So we have a couple winners from today. But probably this is the one that's going to be used a lot. There's, you know, the cat deck, which will be used personally, and the wizarding deck that will be used off camera, because I get voice calls, text calls, and video calls. So I won't use the wizarding deck. I won't use the wizarding deck for video calls, because even though it's a knockoff, the people calling don't know that. This, I find this charming. The like scribbled in details there, it's charming. It, you know, the weird European art style is been taken to kind of a ridiculous level, and I like it. I like the lavender in the color scheme. I like the rusty red. I finally have a real Marseille deck, folks, and I am pretty excited about this. I really am. I sort of want to speed through this and get to work and get to use this and read with a real Marseille deck. So my other Marseille decks would be the Keymaster, which is a sort of Marseille deck, and the Cat Marseille, which has cats doing RWS things in the Marseille pips. So I am pretty excited to dive in. This is what I've been waiting for. There's another Diverse Marseille called the Diverse Marseille at MPC, which is on my wish list, but I'm a little gun shy right now to pull the trigger with MPC right away. And I just need to wait to save up for it. It's very purple, so I'm excited about this. This is pretty purple too, though. Like, not anywhere near the same way, but so this shade of purple I have in my house, my trim and cupboards, and the bit of wainscoting near the front door and front window are this color, and I quite enjoy that. So we got some extra cards here. Tom telling us there's many ways to read Marseille. And we have a card about numerology, a card about elements, a card about function, a card about relationships, a card about Tom, and some extra blank cards. That is pretty exciting. I am going to show you how it shuffles. And then, I'm going to show you how it shuffles. And then I am going to edit this either later tonight or tomorrow. And, oh, that shuffle's nice. And I'm going to get to work with my new Marseille deck that I'm so excited about. This is hitting me in a happy place. It really is. I would also call the Club Tarot deck a success. It's just not my personal aesthetic. So, and I don't use RWS a lot anymore. So I will be making sure it goes to a home where it is going to be loved as dearly as it should be loved. I just want to clarify that. Because I do think it's a great deck. It's just, it would sit in a drawer because I don't use RWS decks very often. And I've not used them at work. Like, well, I mean, there's the Clarity Tarot, which is not a clone. And I use it for yes-no questions because it's designed for yes-no questions. But yeah. So here we go. This is nice, folks. This is nice. Now let's see how she moves. Look at that smoothness. Woo! All right. See y'all later, folks.